And we're back, and we're going to be talking about set gear. So, set gear is this extremely overpowered mechanic to the game that Nexon has made because they're a greedy, faceless company, and they do this for money. Set equipment is so absurdly stronger than regular gear that a lot of people find it hard to compete with some players. Just because they can basically auto their teams, and they have to have so much more superior tactics to be able to keep up with players that have the set gear. Some very popular sets include giving huge amounts of health and movement, giving really huge amounts of movement, and an amount of dodge that is generally not obtainable through normal means. Huge amounts of attack for very long periods of time in PvP. 3 turns is a huge amount of time in PvP. There's also 2 of these sets. There's another one for the second star. They also give a ton of hit rate, and they are the kind of golden combination of bow, chest piece, and brooch for the set altogether, because they give you a ton of extra attack, they give you a ton of hit rate, they give you crit rate. They don't really need anything else, so they're going for the brooch to give you extra defense and HP, and the chest piece to go along with that too. Very powerful, extremely overpowered sets. Now, not all sets always have the best combination of equipment. For example, ones dedicated towards defense, huge amounts of defense, sometimes often have counter rate instead. Ones dedicated towards movement and huge HP sometimes have no brooch at all, but give you crit rate options and dodge. But the set effects themselves generally are way more powerful than the individual gear would be, even just with the set effect itself in a lot of cases. Now, set gear is extremely difficult to obtain, just because it is so rare in drops from capsule drops. They range in rarity from A to S to SS for the gear, and they have varying effects that Nexon has judged. This is to be A effect, this is to be an S effect, or this is to be an SS effect. Generally, sets with SS effects are broken as hell, and sets that have A effects can be just good. I find this Persona's Trick set is a very good set for attack type characters. 7% more attack, 800 crit rate. How can you go wrong with that? It's not bad by any means, but it's not a 4 movement and 8,000 dodge. Now, there's no way you can start the game without playing the tutorial, so you should understand how big of an amount for movement would be for a PvE map. If you're a little bit more of an advanced player, then you don't need any explanation to know that having 16,000 more health in 1 movement is pretty good. Especially for a set that's giving you a huge amount of crit. There are situational sets. This works only when you're the last man standing, for example. This set here works on enemy kill. This set works in Tower of Dawn. So generally, sets usually have a requirement, though not all sets do have requirements. Some sets are just always active. For example, the Omniscient and Omnipotent set gives you 50% attack damage. That's not a huge amount, but it gives it to you immediately. There's no condition attached to it. It also removes 1 debuff if you have 3 pieces. Now, they have the 2 and 3 piece options here. Obviously, it's very clear to understand. If you have 2 of the set, you get this. If you have 3 of the set, you get that. And that's just all there is to it. Now, set gear, if you are going to be going for full set gear on your characters, be in for a long ride, regardless of if you're the richest person in the world or the freest person in the world. It is still extremely difficult to build a very good set, because even after you get these set pieces, now you're going to have to refine the potentials to even make it worthwhile. There's going to be people with set gear that have lousy potentials that can't hold a candle to somebody with regular gear with amazing potentials, just because that's the way that the numbers are going to work out. The potentials are the most important thing in the game. Set equipment is basically an extension to that. If you do not have both working together, then your sets just are not really being used to their full potential, and you're going to miss out on a lot. That's basically all I want to say about sets. I guess if there's anything else I'm going to add, the best sets in the game, in my opinion right now, for 1 star, the Born Assassin set. For 2 and 3 star are the Dathomir Battlesuit and the Beast Train Project Battlesuits. The 4 star best set in the game is a very tough call because there are a lot of good sets for 4 star. Not there aren't any good sets for the other stars, but 4 star seems to be the most competitive. Pathfinder is my favorite. Gives 16,000 HP and 1 movement. Ghost Step set gives 4 movement, and most people like it because you only need the 2 pieces because the 8,000 darts is kind of gimmicky. A lot of people are going to be using the battle suits, and with the huge amount of hit rate they get, they're not going to be dodged because dodge doesn't scale very well, whereas hit rate is a flat 1-to-1 gain for how much your hit rate increases. So it's very easy to stack hit rate, very, very hard to stack dodge. So hit has a huge advantage in that field. But you only need 2 pieces to get the 4 movement, which gives you a huge boon in PvE and PvP. I prefer the 4 star slot as a defensive slot. That's why I prefer the HP sets. I prefer the Pathfinder over this Defender of Earth set because the Defender of Earth set only works when you have 2 or more allies alive, which is a condition, whereas Pathfinder's condition is just have equipped. Now there are some sets that are fairly good. I don't have any because I've never tried to get them that do different things. Now one of them, actually, I do have this one. I forgot I did have like 7 of these. I disassembled my main one recently in exchange for more HP and defense. But this gives you aggro. Now, very few heroes actually have aggro, and this is an extremely useful set if you're at a stage in the game where manipulating other people into doing things is extremely viable. At certain stages of the game, lots of things just get killed in one shot, and it's not as amazing unless you've got the most broken tank in the world. I was enjoying that super broken tank, but things are just getting way too strong now. There's a lot of really huge players, so I was being able to pull the attacks, so I was only able to take 2 or so attacks from top players, and I've opted out for more HP and defense. So I personally dropped it, but it's still a very good set. There are 2 sets that give 23-ish to 2400 attack and access to a different terrain. All heroes have a terrain that they're advantageous on, at least one. Those sets are extremely good offensively, but it's because there's so much offensive power you get from the battle suits and from the 5 star. The 5 star sets have a lot of very sweet offensive sets, but it's kind of an excess, in my opinion, to even need for the 4 star set devoted to attack. It kind of works both ways. Now that you don't have the defense or the HP that you would need to kind of survive extra attacks on your squishier heroes, for opting to attack, your increase in attack kind of works against you because now you don't have the defense to put up with the other person's attack. So it's kind of a two-way trade. Generally, being able to get a huge amount of HP is the best side effect you can have. Unless the set effect is absurd, like Beast Train Project. There's also another set that gives you hit rate and crit damage, which is fairly good offensively. But again, I still do prefer the Pathfinder to be the best set in the game. Now, for 5 star, we have a lot of good variants because we have this set, which is the Eldricus Trinity set. Now, I do not like the pieces. This is a brooch, however, this is a shoe. This hat is a shoe, and this glove is a mace. Mace is okay. This hat being a shoe is stupid because this is one of the most defensively focused sets in the game. It gives you 5% HP regen, and it gives you almost 30,000 health. It's huge. It is defense characters only. they don't need the dodge. Hopefully they change this one day to be HP and defense. Or if they come up with a modification option in the game so that you can choose what type of gear a set piece can become. That would be a very cool option. I believe that's the most powerful defensive set in the game. The most powerful offensive set in the game currently is for area attack type heroes only. Gives 6,000 attack and it takes the MP cost of the skills down 20%, which is huge. 5,192 attack is higher than half the hero's attack in the game in itself for the base stats. So this set is completely absurd. There are other sets they may come out with in the future. For example, they've got a Massacre set. They have this paper set here, which also increases attack by a fairly large amount. But even this is nothing compared to the client set. I do like how this also gives crit rate, but it definitely does not deserve the SS rank like the client set. It is rated as an S. It is very, very, very strong. One of the best 5-star sets in terms of offensive power, but it only works for paper heroes, just like this set only works for area attack type heroes. The client set definitely the best set in the game right now for sure though. For balance and attack type heroes, the Omniscient and Omnipotent set is the next best set to have if you're not a paper type hero or you're not an area attack type hero. But currently, paper and area attack type heroes have a huge advantage being able to use these crazy strong offensive sets where other types of characters are not able to use them. I think that's all I want to say about set gear right now. Why no SS set 1 for the strongest set gear? Because it's all crap. 4% HP, direction strategy power. The direction strategy power is actually okay, but it's just not as good as the Born Assassin set. We also have a Slime King set, and we have this set. This set is another, like, kind of just gives you a bunch of HP and some regen. The Slime King set is a situational set under 40% HP, so it's not really that practical. Like there are some SS sets, they're just not that great. For example, in the 2-star we have this set which gives you lava accessibility and a single movement. That does not compare to 60% attack and 2000 hit rate. But they need to have other sets that are SS. They can't just have the one set be so amazing and it's the only SS one. This should actually be triple S because it is so much better than everything else that they have. But anyway, that's all we're going to be saying about set gear. Set gear is extremely good, it's extremely powerful, and people who have sets are going to be a heck of a lot harder to beat by a lot.